Hey, how's it going? I'm going to have a little reading here for you, or I guess I'm going to do one. So I'm not going to be able to always look directly this way, so please excuse me in advance. The Love Grid. Should have prepared for this. For a while now, years, it's been my spiritual devotion to work on improving myself in ways that can generate a feeling of love and forgiveness for my wounded inner self. To cultivate the understanding to do so, and to incorporate an appreciation for all of the things life's presented me with. To grow from there a sense of gratitude for all I am, not what I'm in need of or lack. In this way, I can radiate the sense of them to share them with whomever is receptive to the free-floating vibrational offering. I saw the best thing yesterday. A bit of a lecture on tuning one's own self to the desired outcome. With an eye to an outcome that is beneficial to all concerned parties. The idea of the love grid popped into mind, and how it was supported by like-minded people with a belief in raising the vibration of love in the future in the face of rising fear and hatred. This is not to say the love grid was my invention. It came into my awareness fully intact. A metaphor in the form of a recreational exercise structure. The octagonal-sided dome-shaped climbing apparatus in a local park where I grew up near. Wow, that came out all disjointed. Let me see if I can do that one again. It was a metaphor in the shape of a recreational exercise structure, the octagonal-sided dome-shaped climbing apparatus in a local park near where I grew up. That's better. Moving on. Sitting on or dangling from it. Oh, an older child then was sitting on it or dangling from it. An older child than it was intended to use it. Then was intended to use it. In the absence of the ones who were intended. I used to sit there and hang and dangle from it rather than the kids that it was intended for. I think it was intended for younger children, but they were never there because it was always older kids over there smoking and sneaking beers, and then there was an element that would sort of come down the block south from Santa Monica Boulevard, and they were basically hustlers, and one of them, in fact, was my first weed dealer. So, anyway, that only clarifies my association to it. For anyone reading, it's necessary to understand its construction. A collection of for anyone reading, it's necessary to understand its construction, the structure. It's a collection of pentagons fitted into its dome shape, joined by smaller pentagonal plates with bolts at each fifth point. Spire? Pinnacle? I don't know. Anyway, they're bolted at each fifth point to corresponding points on the larger ones. Only on my love grid, each pentagonal connector plate was heart-shaped, the representation of a love grid. So I might have to explain that better. In this park, there used to be this sort of monkey bar thing, and it was a dome shape, and it was bars that would shape pentagons, and then attached those plates were attached where like the bars were meeting in the larger pentagon shape. They would attach them to these smaller pentagonal plates at the does that make a sense? Does that make a sense? You know how fractals work? It was kind of like it was a lot like that. Okay, so anyway, oh, I lost my place. Hold on. The representation of a love power grid. I'm just going to start that sentence again. Only on my love grid, each pentagonal connector plate was heart-shaped. The representation of a love power grid meant to fortify the recipients of its output. Like I mentioned, I discovered the love grid, but it was there, and so were traces and signs of others' activity. I think I detected a waft of the love grid's existence before I actually was able to perceive it. Now, it's gradually become evident due to all the work I've done, wresting my empathetic sensibilities from my egoic control mechanism monkey. What I need is to meld or at least broker a mutual compromise between my impulse to be supportive and nurturing and in part demanding, cold, and callous, to temper the two vastly different tempests in an inviting amalgamation that harms no one, that everyone likes. The way this works through my filter is, yes, a core of humans can participate in a ceremony with others to all radiate the loving, healthy, or the loving healing of the highest intent to help. We that care to must also work and live in our communities, because thoughts and meditation don't feed the bills. We still have our end of the social contract to honor, and that being the case, a reader might ask, what will thoughts and prayers do about a serial criminal? All I can say is, not only does love trump all, it neutralizes hate and anger, which are when consistently and gently applied. Love not only trumps all, it neutralizes hate and anger when consistently and gently applied. You know, I felt like for clarity it needed to be repeated, but, you know, it don't hurt anyway to just repeat it. I connect with other grids, and it's an easy movement, but the love grid is like falling with full abandon onto a fluffiness of a big old love cushion. Hands beyond count, all reaching out to catch us in the trustiest trust fall ever. Undreamed of support from every which way there is, and all we have to do is say okay. I mean, it's just there for the taking, basically, but in the taking, you're also giving, ideally. That is what I have to say for now. Thank you and good night.